So next up, State Senator Joni Ernst.
Thank you, everyone. It's great to be here today on the Des Moines Register Soapbox. And what I'd like to do today is not a campaign political speech. I am going to take my time on this soapbox to talk about something that I feel is very, very important. And so today what I'm going to talk about is those brave men and women who serve in our United States Armed Forces. Those who have served us honorably in many, many eras in the past, and those that continue to serve us honorably yet today. We want to thank them. I want to thank them for stepping up and standing for this state, standing for the United States of America, standing up for the ideals, the values, and the freedoms that made this the great United States of America. And as a lieutenant colonel and as a combat veteran that has led troops overseas in Kuwait and Iraq, I am appalled at the heartbreaking way our Veterans Affairs Administration is being run today. Our servicemen and women have fought so very hard for us. We must stand up for them, and we must stand up for their families. And so, what we're going to do is talk about their service today, and I'm going to talk about why these men and women are so very important to me. Our men and women that serve in the United States Armed Forces have come from every corner of the state of Iowa. They have served around the globe. They've served in Europe. They've served in Asia. They've served in Africa, and we still have men and women that are serving us today in the Middle East. And I thank them for their service through all of these different eras. Again, they are so very important to us. We're going to stand up for them. Now again, I said that these servicemen and women that come from Iowa, they have come from every corner, diverse populations. They come from the most rural areas of Iowa, like Sioux County. They come from the urban areas, such as Cedar Rapids and Des Moines. They come to us with GEDs, and they come to us with master's degrees. They serve, they are carpenters, they are electricians, they're plumbers, they're truck drivers, they're mechanics, they're business owners. And you know what they have in common? All of these men and women came forward, they raised their right hand, and they said, I will stand up for Iowans, I will stand up for the United States of America, and I will defend those values, those rights, and those freedoms that made this the greatest country in the face of the world. Thank you. Thank you. And so what I'd like to do is just briefly share two stories with you about the amazing spirit of these men and women that come together and serve in our nation's armed forces. The first I'm going to share is the experience that I had on my deployment with the 1168th Transportation Company. I was honored to serve as commander of this transportation company, and what we did, we were stationed in Kuwait. We picked up supplies at the ports and the warehouses, and we pushed those supplies north into Iraq for our war fighters. And these men and women worked hard, 24-hour missions. Most of our truck drivers would only have 4 hours of sleep before they pushed out on their next mission. They worked in 142-degree Fahrenheit weather, in 95% humidity, in full gear. They did it on little sleep, but they did it. They knew they had a mission to complete, and they were going to do it. Not only did they do our assigned mission, but they stepped in and they helped other units that were stationed in the area, other units that needed help. If it was maintaining vehicles, they would come to our maintenance section and they would say, we need help. We know you are good. Can you help us? And our mechanics would step up and say, you bet. You bring those trucks in, we'll make the fixes and we'll get you back on the road. They did that because they are hardworking Iowans. Our truck drivers, thank you. Not only are they great at their military skills, but our Iowans serving in the Guard have civilian skills as well. They came to us again as electricians, carpenters, and so when an active duty unit came to us and said, we need shelves built in our warehouse, our carpenters stepped up and volunteered and said, we're going to build those shelves for you because that will make you successful in your mission. At the end of our deployment, my battalion commander called us all together. And mind you, he came from the Oregon Army National Guard. He had several of his own Oregon companies serving under him. He brought us all together and he said, 1168, you are my best company. Even though he had Oregon National Guard with him. He said, Iowa, you are number one. You are number one. And it was because those men and women believed in the mission. They were going to complete it. They were going to make sure that everybody was successful. And I am so very, very proud of those men and those women. And we swore to each other we were going to come home whole. And we did. We came home, 150 soldiers. And I tell you, I've never been more proud of those men and women. And I continue to care very deeply about them and their service today.
Thank you, Joni.
The next story I'm going to share with you is an extremely personal story. And it is about a young Guard member that we had that came from southwest Iowa. His name is Jamie Carney. And he was a great young man. And he was a friend of my cousin's. I knew him. He was a happy-go-lucky kid. He is a kid that would do anything for anyone. And he decided he was going to join the Guard. He was going to go away to basic training, and he was going to be an infantryman.
No, get out of the way.
So he sat down with my husband and I. My husband's
your sign or my
your
spot?
Army
You're
vet.
blocking the media.
And he talked about it. And he asked us, what is it like to go to basic training? What is it like to serve in an organization that is bigger than yourself?
You're blocking cameras.
And we talked about it. He was really excited about what he was going to do. And he became a young infantryman. Many years after that, he was deployed to Afghanistan. Now, after my own deployment from 2003 to 2004, got home, whole, safe and sound, happened to be walking down the street in Red Oak. Another friend of mine from Red Oak, also a Guardsman, Jerry Hansen, walked up to me and he said, Joni, our community lost a soldier. And at that time, we didn't know who it was. And that next day, we were notified that that young man was Jamie. This afternoon, I'm going to be honored to spend the day with his father, James Carney Sr. And so what I am doing today is honoring Jamie's service. Jamie's service to our Iowa Army National Guard, to our state, and to our nation. Even though we lost Sergeant Jamie Carney, it was very untimely. He died, and we'll take consolation in this, he died standing up for what he believed was right. He died serving our nation. And he died surrounded by the men that he considered brothers and the men that he loved. So I will take consolation in that. And I know his father does too. So what we're doing today and what I am asking today is that you reach out and you thank a veteran. You tell them that we are going to support you and we are going to take care of your families, because so many of our Iowans, just like Jamie, have given the ultimate sacrifice for us. So we are going to do our best to stand up for them. So here we are at the Iowa State Fair, and we are talking all about what is great in Iowa. all of the wonderful things that we have here in the state of Iowa. And I can tell you that our greatest treasure are these young men and women that have stood up for our United States, the great values that we have, the ideals we have, and our freedoms. So I am asking you to join me in celebrating this important treasure of Iowa. Thank a veteran today. God bless all of you for being here. God bless the great state of Iowa, and God bless the great United States of